Hey, how y'all doing? Okay, so we're gonna do something pretty different tonight. And so one thing I get asked whenever I do conventions, whenever I do events, whenever I drop off what I call a showpiece, is how do I come up with it? How do I do the whole process? I'll be honest, I'm not sure how entertaining this is gonna be. I'm not sure how this is gonna even go. And it's very possible I might just delete this video after a couple days if it's not hitting a mark. But let's just see how it goes. I find myself in a unique position because I met a client today, somebody who I've known in the past, and they're like, hey, I know this is last minute, but I need something for this event, and it's tomorrow I need to buy. I talked to them around 4:30 today. They need it no later than noon tomorrow. So, what is that? 18, 20 hours to create, build, make, go. They've given me the sizes they want. They've given me the concepts of what they're looking for. And besides that, they're letting me run with it. All right, so we're going to get started. So this is what the client wants. They own a game shop, tabletop games, Pokemon cards, Magic, things like that. And he knows that I've done Pokemon and knows I do comic book characters. So he wanted to challenge me and see if I can make him Umbreon, which, if you know Pokemon, is one of the evolutions, or one of the Pokemon that's been around for a long time. It's Eevee, the different ways you can evolve them with the different methods and different stones and things like that. And there is, I know I'm going to say it wrong, but I think there's like now 10 or 12 different versions of Eevee. And one of them is Umbreon, which is the moon Pokemon. And there's a couple others that are very prominent in this new set that's coming out. So, thankfully, I have some balloons at my disposal. And because of that, I might be able to make a couple of the different evolutions, as they say. So, let's get started with Umbreon. And now the first thing I do when I make a sculpture is I'm actually going to minimize this here. And I go on to Google search, and I do a search for that character. Thankfully, now we have Google on our phones. When I first started doing balloons by request, Google image search wasn't a thing. I mean, internet on your phone wasn't a thing. So the fact that we have a database of every character, even ones you've never heard of before, is something pretty cool. And it makes what we do so much easier. This is probably going to be a couple-hour video. If I get the character the way I want it, I'm probably going to do a couple of the other ones. I want to really do something special for this client. And usually I do. Especially something like this, I need a good fun challenge anyways. I'm trying to get back into doing these kind of things more. So this gives me a good challenge, and it's not just using balloons to use balloons and then not do anything with them, but they'll actually be on display. So now a couple things to go into with this. First of all, I'm limited on what balloons I have right now. This was a request at less than a 24-hour turnaround. I have what I have. If I had more time, I probably would have, let's say if I had a couple weeks notice, I would have ordered some different size balloons. I probably would have used maybe 350s and maybe got some more 160s just to use for highlights and things like that. But what I have is 260s. So what I'm doing right now is on my screen here, I have a picture of Umbreon. And if you want to find one so you can follow along, it's Umbreon. And if you pull up, for me, the very first pictures I get are a side and a front view. There you go. And if you then change that to side, So there's a couple different color versions of it. I'm going to be sticking with the main, which is the black and yellow. I think it will look nice, plus that's what's mostly recognizable. And the cool thing about the internet also is nowadays you get a little tidbit. So this is from Pokemon.com. What it says is Umbreon is 3 foot 3 inches tall, weighs 59.5 pounds. That belongs to the Moonlight category. When darkness falls, the rings on its body's glow, striking fear into those nearby. Sounds like Batman. When exposed to the moon's aura, the rings faintly glow and it gains a mysterious power. In Pokemon Go, Eevee can evolve into Umbreon if it's your buddy Pokemon and you walk with it for 10 kilometers during the night. Cool. So, I do like Pokemon. When the original game came out, I actually did make all 151. I think it's a cool concept. I do love Pokemon Go. So it is right up my alley. Now, we are going to be doing some experimenting in this. I actually, right off the top of my head, am not sure what I'm going to do. So he wants something that's about so big, by about so big. So if you think of like a massage table or a doctor's, that he kind of wants like half the dimensions of that. Those are kind of the box that he was showing me. So because we're stuck with what we got, we're going to be using 260s. And I got black here. Now, the nice thing about it is if I do other versions of this character tonight, I'll be using different colors. So the first one I make is going to be my experiment because I have a few different styles of heads that I could possibly do. And because of the dimensions of it, I want to make sure that it looks really good. So we're going to start off with black. One, because that's what the main thing the client wanted, but also I have 200 of those balloons. So if 50 balloons get wasted while I'm creating the head, I'm not going to be too worried. I'm more worried about the other ones because I have limited colors in those. I have 100 of each of those. So this is how this video is going to go. You're going to see the process. As I'm visualizing in my head, I'll say things out loud. But I'll be honest, there's probably not going to be that much talking unless somebody asks a comment or somebody asks a question, makes a comment, things like that. So what I suggest is keep the volume on so you can hear me if I say something, but turn on your favorite song. Turn on some music. I'll be listening probably some NF or Skillet, something like that helps my brain just kind of gets the blood flowing and the creativity going. And Skillet just came out with a new album, so I'll probably be listening to that as I visualize. And my main thing is, if you look at Umbreon, yes, there's some characteristics to like a cat in some aspects, or a fox, or some type in those kind of characters, but there's definitely, you can't just go to like a standard look. So I'm going to play around with the shape of his head, which is more, to me, it reminds me more of a seal with a head. I know that doesn't make sense with the type of Pokemon it is, but the forehead over is definitely more rounded than what you would think with a typical cat. And with the nose and how everything kind of goes together, I have some ideas on what I want to try, but until I actually give it a go, I'm not sure how it's going to look. But as when I was first learning balloons, one of my mentors often said is, balloons should be science experiments. Then you know you're trying. So we're going to just go for it, and we'll see how this goes. Ready, set, let's go.
Now I can't be we are done. Victory road ahead. I've waited all these years. This is what I was born for. Facing all my fears. The mountain stands before me now. My team and I won't back down. Victory road is calling my name. Victory road is calling my name. Every step brings me closer to fame. Victory road is calling my name.遠い海しなにいる諦がないこれ100年ポケモンととのび戦うチャンピオンになってきりゃ時代
Now that I've added this front piece, I'm liking how it's coming. I know it's hard to see the direction I'm headed right now, but I do believe this is the direction I'm going to stick with. But we will see. Now, since the way I'm thinking about it is I'm actually going to make multiple characters. I'm going to actually make a base for them to all go on so that it can be on display, look cool, people can take pictures with it. Also lets me pose the characters, and hopefully the client will really like it. Because I will, love to do more business with this client in the future. But we will see. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of, now that I got the shape of how I am going to be going with things, and I kind of have the look of where direction I'm going, I am now filling it in, creating what I call freeform bubbles. So it's not that I'm weaving in a certain way, it's that I'm filling things in, I'm giving it depth, I'm adding the muscles to the bones. And I'm letting the balloon, as weird as this is going to sound, I'm letting the balloon talk to me and guide me in how it wants to be. Now, I don't mean that literally by talking, but because I visualize things with the balloons and figure out the direction I'm going to go very improvisational style, I know when I'm getting close by the actual look of it. And if that doesn't make sense, let me figure out if I can figure a better way to explain it. So if you're, there we go. If you are drawing a picture, when you're drawing a face, let's say, and you watch one of those how-to videos, you start off with a basic shape. For a face, it'd be almost like an egg. And then 2/3 down, you add one set of lines, another third down, you add another, there's a proportion to where the eyes are on the forehead to where the nose is and things like that. Once you do that, then you can add the muscles, you can add the look to it and build it up from there. And that is, in essence, what I'm doing. So you can see now I got more of this fox kind of looking creature. There's the bottom lip. See if there's a way to get a better shot here. Let's see. There we go. Tip of nose. Try and do it against the blue screen behind me. Or the blue wall. The forehead has the O. And then with the eyes will be down here. Now I'm going to build another one of those ears. And this will give me my dimensions, I think, to make him the size I want. So let's now go to ear number 2. So what scale would I say this is? Obviously, this is a line work. This isn't a quick piece you do for an average event. This is what I would call a showpiece. This is something that I would hope people would want to get out their cameras and take pictures of, because they'll probably never see the exact same thing again. So when I say showpieces, often like I'll make something like this in front of a store or on their window so that people can see it from the outside. I one time made a lion and a lion tamer in front of a store that was kind of in their window area, and have a really cute picture somewhere of a little boy just staring at it at night. It was really cute. Mom sent me a picture of it and told me the story that the kid and all their siblings were in the minivan, and they drove by because they knew that this certain store did something special before Christmas every year, and they knew that there's going to be a balloon. So he was on the side away from the store, so his siblings all got to see it. But this little guy, oh man, I want to say he was about 5 or 6, but I could be wrong on that. He was disappointed that he didn't get to see it. So when they parked, drop off everyone home, the little kid and his mom went for a little walk, and they came to it. And she was a photographer, and she sent me the cutest picture. And the store was already closed, and he was just staring in wonder at this balloon. And she sent it to me and said, "I thought you would enjoy it." And I think I sent her a message back, if I remember right. This was years ago, but I've always loved that picture because it's just a cool thing to see, this kid's reaction to a balloon. So things like that, like for this, a new set for Pokemon's coming out, and they want some of that. While people are buying the new set at the premiere for it, we're like, oh, that's cool. Not every store is going to have something like this. So that's what I mean by a showpiece. So let's add the yellow. Now, what I would say is a showpiece that you worked on and perfected can also be a competition piece. Now, I will admit I have done some competition pieces that are just first-time attempts. I will have a concept and I will just go for it, and that will be just the way it is. I haven't done a competition in a while, and part of it is it, for me, accomplished what I needed to accomplish, which was pushing me when I needed to get pushed. Now I just have fun creating, and I really don't need the extra encouragement to do that, and it just makes it fun. And sometimes when you do a competition, the rules shape how you make something more than the way you want it to. I one time did a piece that I did it in a particular way on purpose. It was a Christmas tree, and I had made all the individual light bulbs out of pieces of balloons. Now, in this particular rule set, if the balloon had any of the not showing at all, even if it was part of the design, they took points off. Well, I had over 100 lights on this thing, little 100, balloon pieces, and with chains that were tied together, and it made this whole setup. And it was the way I wanted it to look, but that didn't matter. So they took off a point for each one of those. So out of a scale of 100, I was a negative. Now, they loved the creativity. I did something that no one had ever seen before with how I made my Christmas tree and how I did the boxes under the tree and stuff like that. So the next year, I looked very closely at the rules, made something that I could hide all my knots, hide everything. I didn't like it as much, and it won first place. It was Santa driving a snowmobile with a whole bunch of presents in the back of the snowmobile. I think it was. I don't even think I have a picture of that anymore. But, if you do competitions, you got to go by the rules. Understood. I should have read the rules before I spent hours making it. And by the time I got there and presented it, it was like, well, you can change things if you want. I'm like, yeah, not really going to happen at this point. Oh, that's fine. It was a learning opportunity. Okay, so once I finish the ear, the head itself is pretty much done besides the eyes. So I got a couple options. I could stop, work on a couple of the other heads while I still have it fresh in my mind on how I did this, because again, this is just something I'm coming up on the fly and I'm not really, don't have it modeled in my brain what I'm doing. Or I could finish this one up, see where I am time-wise. I promised the client at least 3 hours worth of work on it. Whatever I came up with would be at least, that much time spent into it. And so right now, considering how much I talked at the beginning, I'm about 30 minutes into it. So got lots of time left. So probably what I will do is I will probably go right into the body of this one and get things the way I want it to look. I then will start on the second one with then the final piece of the puzzle, or after I finish the second one, I probably will go to the third, then after I do the third, build the base. I got a couple cool ideas for the base and what I want to do. And then build the character that they're all evolved from. So the client is expecting one balloon piece. Originally, he said he wanted this one character. Then he's like, well, if you actually could do, because he understood that I did not have unlimited supply of balloons, he knew that, things were going to be kind of up in the air until I got home and checked. So now that I've gotten home, can see what I have, and working off of that understanding, we're going to give him everything he asked for and then a whole bunch more. Originally, he just wanted Eevee, about that original size. Cool. But then he said, but if we could do this, again, now the client's giving me a little bit more of what they would want if they could choose a little bit more. And ooh, this would be cool if I could do. And what? So after a couple minutes of talking to them, I got an idea of what they are looking for, minimum, what they think would be cool, and this. And they're giving me the freedom to then figure out how I want to make that reality. So right now I'm making one of the eyes. And put that in there. Yeah, I'm liking how that head's coming. There you go. Ooh, the ring light really makes that eye pop. Ooh, don't say pop, your balloons. All right. Let's go back. So I also will be doing convention-wise. I have one in end of May, early June. I will be in Elkhart, Indiana for the Hall of Heroes Con. Another great convention. Alan, who is the face of the event, him and his group run and operate the world's only superhero museum. And it's so much fun. The museum is. And I actually got a whole bunch of videos I've shot that I have not had a chance to edit and publish yet because I got sick and injured. I guess I was more injured than sick, but my body definitely did not like me for a long time. So I actually shot those last June, and hopefully in the next week or two, I will be able to start getting some of them out because I like the direction they were headed. But okay. Alrighty, let's see here. So the other eye. Okay. Oh. Whoops. All right, there's the other eye. Give us some location here. Line up everything. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, dropped an eyeball. Okay, put that back in. Yeah. See if we can work with that. right, so now I'm going to build a connection point for the head into the body. So the neck, but a little bit more than that. So if you look at a picture of Umbreon, and really all of them, their head's very defined, neck goes down, tapers a little bit, and then goes into the full body. So we're actually going to go into all our different connection points here, because there's 5 of them. Okay. So now for the one I'll be doing at Great Lakes Comic Con, I will be making a large balloon sculpture for that one, and possibly another diorama type setting. We will see. And I have a theme that they've given me for that one, and we will see, but I'm liking the idea, so probably will be doing that. It has to do with one of the big celebrities comic book creators that they have coming in, which I've actually got to meet that particular celebrity before. Really cool, really nice to me, and I am hopefully get to meet them again. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually trying to give the illusion of hair right now with this neckline by how I'm curving in the balloons into the free spaces. So it kind of covers up so you can't see all the way through, but at the same point, there we go. Yeah, I'm liking how that's coming. Okay. We're going to put on some music, and we're going to jam for a little bit. Drink a little water, stay hydrated. Yeah, okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to make Umbreon standing. He's going to be on a platform. And underneath him is going to be an Eevee with, I think it's a moonstone. So I got to do a little bit of research on that. So I think it will look pretty cool, but let me think here. I have an image in my head of what I want to do, and I'm seeing if I can find something to show the concept. Because it's in my head. It's one reason why it's hard to, sometimes, at least for me, to work with a large team sometimes, to make things, because like, it's in my head. I don't know how to explain the vision. Words are hard. No. So, okay. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I got the body built now. I'm going to add the legs ear to ear. And once he's done, I'm going to go into the base, because this is the size, this will be the size the client was looking for in the first place. So once I get this built, I then can build the base the way I have it in my head. Probably it's going to be on some grass or something. And then I can add the Eevee probably underneath his legs or right in front of him. Probably have him sideways, Eevee like right next to him. So that, yeah, I think that would look cool. So that way there's a couple different angles to take pictures from. And yeah. And then once I get the legs built in, I can fill in the gaps. So I call this freeforming. It's a different style of weaving than what a lot of people do. Actually, I really haven't seen too many other people do it. Especially when I was first started doing 8-10 years ago, whatever it's been now. And the idea is that I build a core, and then I build out from that core, and then I fill in the gaps. And it's not a typical weave where it's a brick or it's a this or that. It's just, it flows very, what's the word I'm looking for? Naturally. The opposite would be very structured. There's not, every bubble is not the exact time. It flows, I guess it just flows. And I like doing that, especially with these kind of things where you want you don't want the eye to catch, ooh, that bubble's the right size. Ooh, that bubble's the wrong size. I want the right, just a person looking at it is like, oh, I see the whole thing. Again, it's not everyone's style. It's kind of one of the things that makes my style a little bit different. I like it. Again, it's very hard for me to, excuse me. It's very hard to explain to someone else that, you know, what's in my brain, and I know it when I see it. It's kind of like the old story. How do you know something's art? I know it when I see it. But yeah, so, okay, now let's go back into balloon mode. But I'm liking how this is going. I definitely think that this is, you know, for not having any time to pre-build, pre-create in my head, do research on different, you know, a lot of times when I'm making stuff for the first time, I will do a creation dump in my head. I will say, okay, well, I made a lot of dragons, so let's use dragons as an example. I want to see every picture I see of sculpted dragons, both balloons, non-balloons. I want to put all that in my memory. Just dump it. See some different techniques, maybe some different ways people have done lines, flows. Again, not necessarily just with balloons, but just in general. I then take all that, put it together in my head, shake it up real good, and I just kind of jam with my music and let it flow. Bruce Lee had a quote, and it was about his style of martial arts. Back then, a lot of people, if they were in competitions and competing and fighting, everything was a stop point. Fist out, stop. Stop, 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 you know. Where everything flowed together, and it was a very natural flow. And he made a comment about it being like a river. You know, you don't stop a river, the river flows. So that's kind of my way of doing balloons, especially things like this, where it's something that hasn't been done before, I can't just say, oh, I'll do that the way I make my Popeye arms, and I'll do that part as the way I would do Goofy's feet, and you know, whatever. There are concepts that are, you know, my horse head is very similar to my llama's head. Structurally, they're very similar. But I wouldn't do a dog head for my horse head. It wouldn't work. So you gotta, you know, you have all these elements, but things like this, it's different. It's nothing that I can just pull out a bag, something out of my bag of tricks I've done for years. It's the concept. And I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy when a client says, hey, I want something like this that has been made before. You know, I mean, I love, you know, yeah, this to me is fun stuff. So I would love to do more conventions where I could do these kind of things, make big showpieces and have fun with it. So, all right, well, back to some jamming, but that was just a little update of where we're going. I'm going to work on the legs now. The legs I don't think are going to be too difficult. The feet are pretty small. Structurally, they wouldn't hold itself up too well. But I got some ideas on what I can do on the base to make it work. But yeah, so here we go. All right, well, here we go. So that is Umbreon, the dark type Pokemon, and I'm actually pretty happy with them. I'd actually like to do a whole series of Pokemon in this styling, and about this scale. I think it would be really cool to be if I could do it for a convention. So hey, if anyone has a connection to a card party or any of those Pokemon conventions, let me know, because that would be awesome. I'd love to work out a deal with them. So we will take some pictures of this, and maybe I can send them to the card party crew and see if I can get them to give me the time of day. I think they got a couple events this year, one in Florida, I think, and one in Seattle or something like that. So, but yeah, no, let me know what you think. If you watched any of it, all of it, whatever. And like I said, this might be deleted in a couple days. Just thought I would, since I had to make it anyways, we'll try it, see what works. And but for those who wondered my creative process, that's kind of how it goes. It's very much a flow. It's very much, it looks right in my brain, and I try to bring out what's in my brain out. So definitely not the normal style. I'm not going to be making any tutorial videos on how to make this particular piece. And like, this is a 5-finger bubble, 2-finger bubble, 4-finger bubble. Repeat. It'll be, yeah. So, but hopefully you can kind of see the process, and maybe we'll encourage you and create your own process. All right, all. Adios. As I like to say, a smile is free. Thank you only takes a moment, but an encouraging word at the right time can change a life forever. So thank you all. And yeah, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Just getting the channel going again, and flowing in the right direction, I think. So, all right. Thank y'all. Adios. Till next time, keep on twisting.
Through caves and cliffs I've made my way. Each trainer down, I'm here to stay. My Pokemon are ready to fight.